Good day, good people, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for joining me for this new cut file tutorial here on the Cut Toots YouTube channel. I am Phaedra Dion, and I am the owner and lead educator for CutToots.com. This video is not about creating a cut file. It's about how to use your own fonts in Cricut Design Space. And I'll actually be doing several more videos like this on how to use specific functionality in the different tools I cover here on Cut Toots. So let's get started with a new project in Cricut Design Space. So I already have it open here, and I'm going to click on New Project. And this is the version of Cricut Design Space attached to the account where I'm paying for Cricut Access. But what I also did was I remoted into my desktop, I'm sorry, my laptop, uh, to pull up the version where I do not pay for Cricut Design Space. So you can see here in the bottom right, it says try Cricut Access for free. So I am not paying for it on this account. I am um, just using it free, and I wanted to be able to have both types of account, free and paid, for these tutorials so that I could show you things in each one. And one of the things I discovered with Cricut Design Space is there are a lot of fonts, but not many of them are free. I think about 30 of them are free. Um, and I went through and found them all, and so I'm gonna do a PDF and put it on my website, cuttoots.com, so you can check it out or download it. Um, but um, I have this thing about using language properly, and I have searched videos on YouTube where people talk about fonts in Cricut Design Space, and they'll say upload your own fonts to Cricut Design Space. Well, actually, that's not correct. You're not actually uploading fonts to Cricut Design Space. What you're doing is you are using the fonts that are on your computer in Cricut Design Space. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I just clicked on the text option to get the word text, and it brought up my fonts panel here. So I'm going to go here to fonts and just click to get a different font. So if you look up here at fonts, you'll see all, system, and Cricut. And for some reason, this is checked by default, only current fonts. I'm going to uncheck it, and it's going to let me see all of the fonts. And I don't believe I have any filters on. No, I don't. But it's going to let me see all of the fonts that are available. And because this is the free version, you'll see that these fonts have prices. I haven't seen one over $6.99, um, but there are so many free fonts that you can take advantage of. Um, you don't necessarily need to pay for Cricut Access to use their fonts. So you can see right here where it says Agency FB. If you don't see a price, it's a free font. And like I said, I went through all of these fonts, and I only found about 31, maybe it was like 32 fonts that were actually free. So if you're not paying for Cricut Access, and you don't have to pay for it to use the software, then you'll have to pay for each of these fonts um, that you want to use in your project. But you can just use the fonts that are on your system. Oh, that's why interesting. That's why Agency FB was free, because it's on my system. Okay. And that's what system means. It means your computer. Okay. And I do have a lot of fonts. I'm actually a web designer and developer, and I've been doing that for many, many years. And that's one of the reasons I started this channel to teach, to train, to instruct other people how to use the software that I know how to use in order to make their own cut files. There are so many people who have channels where they are teaching you how to use cut files, but I didn't see many where people are teaching you how to create your own. So, um, I'm gonna move this out of the way, and then I'll go over here and I'll hit the text button again in my vertical menu, and then I'll go here and click on Cricut Sans in the fonts panel, and you will see that this is the version that I pay for to have Cricut access, and you'll notice there's no pricing. Okay. Um, this is a system font. It doesn't say download. And you don't actually have to download Cricut fonts to use them, but the purpose of allowing you to download them is so that they're readily available when you want to use them in projects. So I want to use a font that I don't have um, in Cricut. What I'm going to do is move this out of the way. And I have already pulled up fonts.google.com. I like Google Fonts for several reasons. Again, my training is as a web designer developer, and basically, as I said before, I've been doing it for a long time since 1999. When I joined the Army, they made me a webmaster. And so I started out hand coding sites. And one of the things I like about Google Fonts is that they are on most people's computers. It's not really a big deal when you're making a cut file because you don't have to worry about whether the person has the font. But I like them because they're free and you can use them in your projects. So right here where it says type something, I'm just going to type um, have a nice day. And then I'm going to come to categories and I'm going to choose the handwriting. Actually, I'm going to choose display. So I'm going to uncheck all this other stuff and have um, the Google Fonts website just show me display fonts. And I typed have a nice day here because I want to see what it looks like on these fonts. So say that's what I want in my text here. So I'm going to double click this and then I'm going to type have a nice day. Now what I want to do is save this and I'll just name it have a nice day. And then what I'm going to do is um, go back and look at these fonts. So I'll scroll down until I find something that tickles my fancy. Um, so I like this Henny Penny here, and I want to see if it's already on my computer. So I'm going to go up here, uncheck only current fonts, and I'm going to just type in Henny. It is not. It is not already on my computer. So I want to put it on my computer. So what I'm going to do is click on this and choose download family. Um, there's three styles. All of them are regular. It shows me sample glyphs, and they used to show you what these fonts paired with, but they don't anymore, which is not important to us. I'm thinking as a web designer, please forgive me. Okay, so this is going to be the font. So I'm going to download the family, and I'm gonna put it in my fonts folder because I have a fonts folder because I have probably thousands of fonts, and it sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. So I'm gonna go to my E drive because I have a fonts folder here, and I'm going to save Henny Penny to that folder. Now, I'm working from a PC. I'm not sure about Macs, but the cool thing about PCs is I'm gonna click on the arrow here and choose Show in Folder, and it's going to bring me to the file that I just downloaded. The cool thing about the PC is even though this is in a zip file, you don't have to unzip it. You can just open the zip file and open the font. Now, the types of fonts that you can use in um, Design Space are true type fonts and open type fonts. So this is a .ttf, and I can use that. The other one I could use is a .otf. Okay. There are different types of font extensions, but in Cricut Design Space, you can only use TTF and OTF. So I'm not going to unzip this. I'm just going to double click on Henny Penny Regular, and it's going to open it up, and I can just install it on my computer. And once it's installed, the button will go gray to let me know that it's installed, and then I can close this and I can close this. So now I have the font on my computer. So I'm going to click out and go back in and put in Henny Penny, and nothing is going to come up. This is why I saved my document, or my new project, because in Cricut Design Space, when you add a new font to your computer, you have to close Cricut Design Space and open it back up before you can see the font. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to close Cricut Design Space. It's going to ask me, am I sure I want to quit? I'm going to say yes, or I'm going to click yes, and then I'm going to open Cricut Design Space back up. And it's going to take a few seconds for that to happen. And then I'm going to go to my projects. And for some reason on my computer, I don't know if this happens to you, it takes um, a little bit of time for all my projects to open. And if you can see here, I don't have a whole lot, so I don't know why it takes so long. I'm going to pause the video until I get back into my project. Okay, finally back into the project. So I'm going to click on Have a Nice Day so I can get my font panel. And then I'm going to go to all the fonts and uncheck only current fonts. And then I'll go to System. And all the fonts are in alphabetical order. And I'm not going to scroll through to find my fonts. I'm just going to put in Henny and hit Enter. And now I can access my font. So I will click it once, and it'll change my text. And now I can do whatever it is I want to do with this font. So again, this video is just to explain that you're not actually uploading fonts to Cricut Design Space. You are installing fonts on your computer, and then you are um, essentially pulling those fonts into Cricut Design Space because they're on your computer. So my free version of Cricut Design Space is on a different computer. Um, and if I go here and put in Henny, even though I own both of these computers and they're in the same place, I'm not going to have this font on this computer because it's a system font. Okay. Um, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that so you understand that you don't go to uploads to upload your font. It's a system font. Put it on your computer, and then you can use it in Cricut. And if you know that you don't have a font and you know you're going to want something different than what you have in Cricut, especially if you're using the free version, download, install your font to your system, and then open um, Cricut Design Space, because that way you don't have to close it. So, thanks for watching and have a nice day.